All right. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. I love seeing those cameras on. It never fails. Red light comes on, my nose itches just right here at the top corner. Like, just right here at the top corner. Red light, itch. All right. I feel like that was a really good, solid session that sets us up for the rest of the event, because ultimately, and I'm sure I'll circle back to it a few times, but without that performance piece, it's a hard road, because the whole idea with videos is we're using video as a tool to create know, like, and trust. Period. Period. That's it. We are using it as a tool. All right? And Celeste, you wouldn't see anything as a VIP button in the dashboard, so don't worry about it. You're doing it right. You're doing it right. Oh, Donna, all right. We have Kindred Spirits of BMX. Oh my God, I loved, oh my gosh. Yeah, that would, yeah, that vibration when that gate's about to drop. I love it. I love it. Makes me go back. All right, so I want to start this session with a note about messaging. So if you're a messaging coach, I apologize to you in advance, but I'm not apologizing for what I'm about to say. See how that works? For me, messaging, my experience, tends to be a little bit overrated. I am not trying to say that it's not necessary. It absolutely is. I am not trying to say you shouldn't think about it. You absolutely should. I totally believe you need to speak to your right fit clients' pains, their desires, their opportunities, their fears, all of that. I'm just from the camp of when you talk to a person and you know who you're talking to, the words will come out. So I just believe don't focus so much on trying. I think what happens, my perception, is people get in this world of marketing and somehow they believe there's this golden rule of marketing, and there are some golden rules that you need to know and understand, but when we know the rules, we can bend the rules, shape them to our liking, right? So I just want you to, when you're thinking about messaging, think about it in this vein of, I'm sitting across from you, we're having a cup of coffee together, and I'm just telling you how I could help you. I know to a degree what you're experiencing, and I'm just giving you my advice. So don't try to, look at a marketing book and go, these are the steps to messaging. Just believe in the fact that you are good at what you do and you want to help this person, and do that, right? And I said this earlier, but it really is talking to, not at. It really is this idea of it's how you say it, not what you say. People won't remember every word you say. They will remember how you made them feel. I get that from Suzanne Evans. She says that a lot. They won't remember everything you teach them. They will remember how you made them feel. So I want you just to focus on the emotion of your messaging. The emotion of your messaging. All right, lecture over in regards to that. We're going to move on to Video Script Writing 101. And at some point I get like, did I say this already? And I guess I didn't. I may have shared this in one of the VIP sessions. Oh, okay, great. So great. Thank you, Dr. Karen. She probably got it from there, I'm sure. And yes, Dr. Patrice, essentially that's true. It's the intention over the scripting, right? It's like, what are you trying to say with this? I love that. I love that. So welcome to Video Scripting 101. This is going to be pretty basic. This is going to be pretty basic because here's the truth. So if you're a note taker or you're my person in the group who I love, who's summarizing everything, I don't know how you magically do that, but good on you. I want you to understand these key components in every script. Now, the only rule that this doesn't necessarily apply to is a thank you script, and I'm going to talk just for a moment about that. But essentially, you've got to identify the problem. I did say this yesterday, I think. I'm saying it again. You offer a solution, and you tell them what to do next. That's it. Every script that you do should essentially have that in there somewhere. It's going to be surrounded in your personality, in your juju, in your JoJo, in your mojo, whatever kind of Joe you're using. It's going to be in there somewhere. Those components have to be there. I know, Laura, a lot of people have, because there's a lot of, gurus out there that teach this stuff where it's like, dude, just, it's human beings. Video is a connection. Always go back to this. If I'm using this tool properly, all I'm aiming to do is to connect. It's that simple, right? Going back to, the first session this morning, we can't control what they think. We're just doing our job with intentionality to connect, right? And it will connect with the right people when you're doing it properly. So identify the problem, offer a solution, tell them what to do next. All right? So I want to put you into, you're going to have just some working time right now. I'm going to give you 5 minutes because it's not complicated. For some of my doctors in the room, you might can do this a couple of times. I want you to write a simple 3-sentence script. We're not using AI here, Dr. Jill, Dr. Karen. Don't be going to run into Sid. This is just simple language. This is not about like performing or anything. This is not about being clever. It's 3 sentences where you identify a problem, offer a solution, and tell them what to do next. And here's the truth. Tell them what to do next is relatively simple. Click the link below to book a call. Slide into my DMs and let's connect. I mean, that part is easy. Click like and subscribe if you want to learn more about this, right? That part is easy. Oh my good Lord, Will, where are we now? Here, somewhere special. All right? So Carson, you have some working music. I have a playlist over there. All right, so we're gonna put a timer on the screen for 5 minutes, and then we're gonna take some shares in about 5 minutes. Would love to hear from people that I haven't heard from, so enjoy the pop covers with soft guitar music. tell me why. Ain't nothing but a party. Tell me why. You wouldn't know this by looking at me, but man, I love a good boy band. I swear to you. And when that NSYNC came out, I had done lost my mind, and I was too old for it. But I was like, man, this is sugary pop, and it tastes good. All right, I want to go into some rapid shares. So like, bring you on if you want to come on and just read me your 3-line script. Kathleen, you are up first. Give it to me.
Hi there, my small business friends. Does your brain go numb or defensive when somebody asks you about your financial statements? I can show you some quick tips to turn that around so that you're back in control of your financial statements and back in control of your business. Just press the button here on the screen and let's get together and share some tips.
All right, well done. Little round of applause. Here's what I would change. Does your mind go blah, 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 instead of does your, I know if you're like the clients I work with, your mind goes blah, blah, blah when you get to those financial statements, because that's not what you're good at. You're good at your business. Does that make sense? Does that help? Thumbs up and that'll let me know. Okay, great.
You're saying, does your mind go rather than does your brain go?
No, sorry. It's, remember our thing that we're trying to convey here, or trying to always implement, assumptive rather than questioning.
Yes, okay, so I will refine that because I thought it was
Right.
that, but and I did discover, like, you can only do one little tiny morsel in this kind of thing, right?
Yeah, your script was like money. That's exactly what I'm looking for, rather than we can identify the problem, and this may have been confusing, so I apologize for this, but we can identify the problem by being assumptive. Think back to Marla. Hey mom, I know you're stressed and blah, 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 because of your teens, blah, 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 blah. We know what the problem is, right? So I always like going the assumptive route. I can't say this enough, because I just believe we might as well call it for what we know it is. Now, when we look at copy on a page, that's where we could, ask some questions. So a little bit of a side lesson, think about how we read stuff on a page versus how we hear it when somebody's on video.
Right.
Right? There's a subtle difference there. Well done. All right, Priscilla.
Thank you.
Wait, we're waiting. Priscilla, 1 second. There we go.
Okay, wonderful. So, okay, I'm gonna go action camera.
Yes.
Camera action. Anyway, you're meant for more, but you find yourself waking up at 2 a.m. consistently, and you just cannot take that feeling of disgust anymore. What helped me when I was in the messy middle was asking one question. What is my heart saying yes to that my head is saying no to? In order to take your first best next step, message in the comments below, ready. I'd love to have a clarity call to help you identify that first best next step.
Well done. We probably have one extra sentence in there, but we identified the problem when you hit to the messy middle, right? And they're gonna know what that means based on who they're seeing. Kat King, you're up.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Have you ever noticed on the apps for your phone that it analyzes how many hours you've been spending scrolling on your devices? And then you notice that with people in your family. So instead of doing that, we can spend time in nature. Time to make sure we grow the foods that have no toxins or green or microplastics in them. So I can help you grow your garden of your favorite foods. Just click on the link below and let's book a call.
Okay, a little tweaking. Have you ever noticed change that to, when you look at your phone,
Oh,
are you depressed or bummed out because it's showing you how much time you've been on it last week? Make sense? One little tweak, instead of asking the question, assume they're on their phone too much. Dr. Jill, you're up.
You've been ghosted during cancer treatment by friends you thought would be there for you, and it hurts. Or they said something hurtful in an effort to be helpful, so you pushed them away to protect yourself. What you need to do is heal that wound, whether or not you resume and repair the friendship, so you aren't carrying that hurt and anger forever. And I can help you do just that. So click the button below and book a call, and we can talk about what's bugging you and how to fix it.
Well done, Dr. Jill. All right, Julie, I'm getting that right? Every time I say the J name, I'm like, what, is it right? Okay, I'm gonna change that on the chat. Go ahead, Julie, you're up.
Okay, yeah, it wouldn't let me change it.
I
from
know.
completely. It did on the first night, but it didn't.
Yeah.
So mine is looking for your next favorite place to unwind and relax, whether that's with a cigar or with a drink. We have both here at Smokin' Oak. So come hang out with us at the lounge. We have over 200 whiskeys and over 100 cigars. So either way or both, come hang out with us at 127 West Center Street.
Okay, now this is an instance where we know the rules, we can bend the rules a little bit, because she's inferring a question, looking for that next place to hang out, right? You could shift that just a little bit, Julie, and go, I've got the perfect place for you to hang out. If you're into cigars and whiskey, I want you to come. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, now, for you, because it is like a physical location and it's a little bit of a difference, you can get away with that. But I even like this idea of going proactive and go, you know what I mean? I've got your new hangout spot. Or you could even spin it as, you like whiskey and you probably like cigars, come hang out at. Make sense?
Yeah.
Be in this mindset of like, if you're not here, where you at? Right? There's something on TikTok. If you're not at the beach, where you at? Sorry. Erica Hill, you're up.
I get it. Trust me, I get it. You started that business because you were very passionate about making an impact in the world. And you're making very good money in your business, but for some reason it's taken forever for you to scale and grow. Well, I help female business owners actually scale and grow their business by getting access to capital. Therefore, they can leverage somebody else's money, make that great impact, and take their business to the next level. If you're ready or you need more information, click below. Click the comment section below.
Okay, great. A little bit longer than what I was looking for, but it still works. Here's one tweak at the end. If you're ready, another question, right, that we want to eliminate. So how about this? Here's an example of know the rules, break the rules. If you're ready, and I know you are, because you're watching my video, click the link, right? It's almost like you ask the question and then you can answer it right away. That works with everybody. Like, right? Like if you have a business where you like help, entrepreneurs make more money, right? If you have a business where you help teens, with their dramatic lives, right? If you help fill in the blank, you can take this question format and simply go, if you're ready to, and I know you are because you're here, right? Did you even notice the way my tone of psychology changes, right? If you're ready to, and I know you are, right? Like I go from curiosity right into, of course you are, right? Certainty, right? Carson, can I get that timer up on the screen? Thanks. All right. Marsha Green, let's hear it.
Do you find yourself mired in not sleeping, anxious, and
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to like come to everyone's house and knock the questions right out of your house. Do you, that's a question, Marsha, try it again with an assumptive statement. Just try it
Okay.
again.
Do you find yourself mired in not sleeping, anxious, and
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to like come to everyone's house and knock the questions right out of your house. Do you, that's a question, Marsha, try it again. Just try it again.
Okay. you find yourself mired in overwhelm and you're not sleeping and you're anxious and you're not knowing how to find any peace, when we work together and we release your emotions with this simple process, we can make some noticeable changes. If you're ready, and I know you are because you're watching my video, click the link below.
Well done, Marcia. What a great student you are. Okay, a couple things I want to point out for Marcia and the rest of you guys. So she says, and I know I put you on the spot, so thank you for being a good sport. You say, you know, you're finding yourself tossing and turning at night. Paint the picture, right? You could even come into this one with like, you've just stared at the clock and it's 3:13 in the morning. You can't sleep because of the overwhelm and the stress. I get it. Now, instead of saying, when we work together, because when we work together, red flag, I'm selling you something, right?
Sure. Okay.
Change that to, I want to be able to help. I've got simple techniques that are going to calm the mind, get you in the right head frame, right? Frame it a little differently so that, and it's kind of the same thing when people will say, and in my program, nobody wants to buy a program. We want the results of the program, but we don't want to buy a program. Does that make sense? Does that help a little bit?
Right.
All right, cool. Well done. All right, Shirley, you're up. And then after Will, by the way, we're going to be moving on. So that's our cutoff. All right, go for it, Shirley.
Okay, are you anxious, overwhelmed, stressed out, no time? Perhaps it's a
Shirley,
little
Shirley,
bit
Shirley. Are
Slow
you?
down.
Are you? Is that a question?
Yes?
Okay, so rephrase it to an assumptive statement.
Oh, okay, all right.
Okay.
I know many people who are anxious, overwhelmed, stressed out with no time. Perhaps it's the little inner child who never had a chance to grow up, and the little inner child is the one who's in charge. I found my little inner child, and together we grew up and transformed into one whole, mature, grown-up person. I'd like you to join me on a delightful journal journey to meet your little inner child, to comfort her fears and encourage her with your unconditional love, just like I did.
Okay, I love that. Here's one little tweak. I know many people who are anxious, yada, yada. Then you could go, I know many people who are anxious, and perhaps that's you. That's a situation where you can ask the question because it gives them a time to go, anxious, that is me. Does that make sense? Right? Or you could say, I know many people who are anxious, blah, 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 and that's okay. You're probably watching this video because you want help with that. It really has to do with your inner child. Do you see how many options we have once we start to unpack, but we're always leading with the positive assumption that the person on the other end of that screen is who we can help. Make sense? Cool.
Thank you.
All right, Gretchen.
You were up late working on a project. You're finally in bed, but now you can't sleep. I get it. The mind is still working out the problem. Well, I've supported a lot of my clients in creating simple bedtime routines that trigger you to let go and allow your mind to go into a restful state. Here's a pro tip. This doesn't have to take a long time. Short and simple can be very effective. So for customized strategy just for you, click the link below and we'll connect.
Well done. I'm in a room full of coaches and teachers because when I say keep it simple with 3 sentences, people are like, no, not me. No. Let me paint this picture. That's all right. All right, Sherry, are you there? Sherry, are you getting in your minivan? Okay. All right.
Okay.
Give it to me.
Okay, so I actually have 3 of them, so I did just pick one that seemed like the best for this situation.
Please do. Yes.
You have these emotions inside of you that you are just trying to find words for it, and you can't find them. You don't know how to say it. You wish that you could somehow communicate what's happening inside of you. Well, you can use art therapy sessions to help you pull out those emotions that you can't use words for and be able to say the things that are cooped up inside of you. If you get in contact with me, I can help you say those things that you can't say with words.
Okay, great. So let's cut out the if you get in contact with me, and then we're clear, right? But well done. All right, David.
Most people avoid or procrastinate when it relates to their estate and legacy planning, which means families are left disorganized and in chaos. That's why I created a Legacy Builders Blueprint. Click on the button below to learn the easy steps to secure your legacy.
Oh my gosh, could we all just listen to his voice all day long? Oh my God. Now, are you an attorney, question mark?
I'm a financial advisor, but I'm a certified executive advisor. So I work in estate planning and financial planning, but my focus now, my practice is on working with families when it comes to legacy planning and estate planning.
Yeah, I love this. And because I've had so much work with attorneys, just a little bit of side note here. My advice to you is, and again, it could depend on your right fit client, so take this with a grain of salt. Always go with estate planning and use the word wills in your statement. You did the assignment perfectly, by the way, so well done. This is just a little extra for you. And you know, everybody on this call, you need this, whether you think you do or not. Because the truth is, if you don't do it, the state's going to do it for you. And David, this is what I always coach my estate planning attorneys, like, we are going to make the state the bad guy. And this kind of goes for anyone. If you can find a bad guy in the scenario, always do that, right? So when we were doing, with estate planning, it'd be like, look, one of my estate planning attorneys in Texas, she's so great. I can't think of her name right now, but she had this saying where she was like, she said something basically like, if you don't have an estate plan, the state of Texas will, and you're not gonna like it, right? It was so much like, especially with a state like Texas, where it's like, Texas is like, hey, keep the government out of my business. So think about that language and start going, how can I use this to my advantage? Because the truth is, David, this is a great opportunity, and hopefully this is landing for a lot of people, to be such a cheerleader for your industry, like such a cheerleader for your industry, because David knows for a fact we are all going to die. And if
usually I just say, spoiler alert,
yes,
it's going to happen to all of us.
Okay, yes, exactly, right? He knows something that we all should know. We are going to pass eventually. Our time has a date on it, an expiration date. And if nothing is done, yes, the state does come in. And yes, most of the time, it's not what the family would want. So well done, David. Thank you for letting me go on a little tangent there. Donna Kennedy, you're up.
Angel parent, I know that you've had those moments where you are like, I cannot go to that birthday party. I cannot go to that wedding. I will not go to that holiday celebration. It's going to make me too mad, too resentful, or just too sad. Let me tell you, it is perfectly okay to give yourself grace and the time that you need. You don't have to say yes. And you can also stay as long as you like. Please, if this resonates with you, click comment below, gentle, and I will send you even more tips on how to manage this kind of communication.
Well done. I love the way you painted the scenes, right? Because what that does in this situation, even though this wasn't 3 simple sentences, but I adore you. I'll just make a note that will help everybody. Like, she's giving those specific scenarios that she knows her client, that's painful, right? The family situations, the celebrations, the holidays, all that kind of stuff. The only thing, change it at the end if this resonates with you, right? No if. At least go, if this resonates with you, I'm sorry, it does, right? Like even there, you could even, my heart breaks for you because it does. Like you have a little bit more leeway in that area. So well done. Good job.
Thank you.
All right, Susan.
Okay. When you are drowning in the chaos of your child's addiction, you struggle to get out of bed every morning. I get that. I can help you calm that chaos. Click the link below to book a call.
Well done. So simple and back-to-back heavy topics. Oh, let me take a deep breath. Yes, well done, Susan. Well done, Susan. I felt that. What I loved about that is the simple line of struggling to get out of bed. Like we all can relate to that, even if we don't have that. But that line, struggling to get out of bed, we know what that's like, right? So well done. All right, Sue, you're up.
It's like a runaway train. It never stops. It frets and worries over every thought, every decision until you're exhausted and afraid to make a move. In fact, you've forgotten the dreams you used to have. How do I know this? I used to be that way until I learned how to cultivate self-trust, manage my mind, and learn to create inner peace. I have simple techniques that will transform the tornado in your mind into a tranquil oasis based on self-trust and confidence. Click the link below to explore with me.
Well done. Great delivery too. I mean, you had a little bit of that spitfire that I'm starting to know you as. Like you're gonna bring it, which I love. I love it. I love it. But at the end, you switched the tone and it was really great. And you had that simple line of, I get it, it was me. So well done. All right, Will, what you got for me?
Alrighty then. So many people I've met are fantastic in their element, but focusing on tech isn't always one of them. I've been speaking English and techese for decades. Let me figure out how tech in your business will bring you profit. I believe it, and you should too. We should meet.
Well done. That was great. That was great. What's great is when you are so aware of what you do and who you help, and I mean this in the most loving way, you can lean into a little bit of nerdiness, right? And have a little bit of fun with, you know, if you don't speak tech and you happen to speak English, I'm your guy, right? So yeah, well done. That was really great. All right, last but not least, Jan, what do you got for us?
Okay. You've been working on your stuff for what feels like a lifetime. And there's this one issue never goes away. I get some traction, then it comes right back again. Well, I'm telling you, it's not your fault. It's a trap, and it's caused by the fact that your issue was never yours in the first place, and you can't resolve something that doesn't belong to you. So it is actually really easy to deal with, and the first step is to check whether it's yours or not. The easiest way to do that is to truth test it. You don't know how to truth test, but you want to learn how to test for yourself as objectively as possible. Click on the link below and take my free training.
Well done. That was well done. That accent, Oklahoma, am I right?
UK.
I'm just kidding. That is my go-to joke. Every time somebody comes in with a fascinating, lovely accent, I'm like, Oklahoma? No offense to you, Sarah. I grew up right there, Wichita Falls, right? Right there. All right, great. Was that a good activity? A little bit of this? That's what we do when we're happy, I think? Great, great. All right, cool. That helps you get into a mode because the truth is, and nowadays, we do want to use AI for this, right, with our script writing, even though we're not going to memorize the script. We'll get into that tomorrow. And I wanted to put this really quick to, we already tried it, okay. Let's see, I'm just going through my slides. I'm going to put this through, I'm sorry, I'm making you guys watch too much of my content. Only 17 more videos to go. I promise. Maybe 18 at the tops. I want you to put this to the test. Identify the problem, offer a solution, tell them what to do next. The rest is me just being Jimbo, Hope-bo, right? Let's put it to the test. I'll start making my videos when. Stop right there. I'm Jimbo Marshall, and for over 2 decades, I've watched brilliant business owners hide their expertise behind that one little word, when. When I'm more confident, when I have better equipment, when I know what to say, when I lose 20 pounds. Here's the truth. Video marketing isn't about perfection, it's about connection. At Ready for Your Close-Up, you'll discover how to create an authentic video presence that attracts your ideal clients. 3 days to master your message, own your persona, and take control of your business growth. Because your clients aren't looking for perfect, they're looking for you. I think it got it all in there, right? Identified the problem. When are you going to make your videos? When you this, when you that, right? I offered the solution, this event. That's it, right? I'm showing you this because I want to be able to share something that's not just blank, 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 right? And I want you to be able to like identify every video that you watch. I want you to be able to like look at it and go, where was the problem identified? Where was the solution identified? And do I know what to do next? I don't even think I'm not sure I said like sign up, right? But it was for sure inferred, right? Yeah, the background music, Laura, is in Veed, which we're gonna look at tomorrow, right? So all good there. All right, so we're gonna shift gears a little bit. We're gonna talk about the types of videos. Now, if you don't have Claude or ChatGPT, anybody in that boat right now, you don't have Claude or ChatGPT? No hands are going up. This is great. Allison, go to the dashboard and you'll see a bottom, me too, Jill. You'll see a button at the bottom of the screen that'll say Claude. Just click on that. There's no charge, but in this next, we've got 50 minutes until our meal break. And we're going to get moving. So I want to make sure everybody has Claude or ChatGPT at their disposal. There we go. Thank you, Carson. She's putting it on the screen. So that you can go, because this next part of this assignment is going to require you going to one of those websites. All right. So the types of videos: tip video, frequently asked question videos, misconceptions videos. And I'm going to say briefly each one. We've got, my screen is, no, this was my programming. Yep, a little out of order. Thank you, Past Jimbo, for this excellent design work. Number of things to know about. If some of these aren't making sense, I'm going to walk you through them. What to look for in A. It almost sounds like Jeopardy, right? And the brand or about me. Real quick, the tip video, which is what we're going to work on first, is essentially, hey, Jimbo Marshall, and I've got a tip for you if you're struggling with video. My tip is, don't overcomplicate the equipment. You've got a phone, you've got a camera on your computer, keep it simple. You don't have to get complicated when you're making your videos. I hope this tip helps. Drop a DM in the blah, 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 right? Frequently asked questions. Exactly what it sounds like. Hey, it's Jimbo Marshall here, and I get, well, the same questions all the time about video. Now, one of those questions I get is, what kind of equipment or camera should I use, right? And then I might list out a few of the questions. So everybody in their mind should probably have, what are some of the questions that I get often, right? You probably know this, right? Misconceptions. This is literally another way to say a frequently asked questions, right? So it goes like this. One of the misconceptions I hear about video all the time is you need some sort of a fancy camera in order to make good, effective, profitable video. That's not true. You've been sold a lie. You actually could use your phone or the camera in your computer, right? Same video, different approach in. Number of things to know about. There are only 3 things you need to know if you want to make profitable videos. The first is keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate the tech. The second is keep your messaging simple and in plain English or whatever language you speak. In other words, talk to the person behind the lens. And the third, keep it short and sweet. All right, we are in a time where everyone's attention is a little bit short, if you know what I'm saying. Listen, I hope these things help you, and if you want more, right? Sales opt-in funnel, that is, we're going to talk more about that tomorrow. That's really where the money is on how to become profitable out of videos, but it's really like a sales page video. It's an opt-in for my webinar video or training, whatever. It's videos that are going to happen in a funnel, right? And the rest of the funnel, if you don't know what that is yet, don't worry about it. We're not worried about that today. We'll look at that tomorrow. What to look for in A, I'm gonna show you a video on that. I think, is that coming up in this section or maybe the next session? That's in the next session. But I've been saying more than once, be a cheerleader for your industry, right? You've now heard this. So my philosophy is, let's educate people on how to find a video marketing person, a parenting coach, a sales expert, a tech expert. Fill in the blank with what you do. Let's lead with service. And here's the kicker. When you describe what to look for in a fill in the blank, you're describing yourself, but it allows you to get into this position of, hey, you should hire me, right? It allows you to go, hey, Jimbo Marshall here. And one of the questions I get asked a lot is, what would I look for in a video producer or director or somebody to help me with videos? Well, the first thing you want to look for is somebody that understands marketing. If you're a business owner, you're not making videos just for fun. You're making videos to attract new clients, get new leads, and ultimately make more money, right? The second thing you want to look for, and I would go through that list, right? I just happen to be all those things, right? So you can imagine how much better that video is than the brand or about me video, right? It's like, instead of, I make that video as opposed to, hey, it's Jimbo Marshall, and I just want to tell you about myself. You know, I've produced and directed over 500 infomercials. I've shot for the Discovery Channel. I've been on the Great Wall of China. I've been in a Shark Tank in South Africa. I was in Nelson Mandela's childhood home. Amazing. Like, okay, but what's in it for me, the viewer? Great, you've got credentials, Jimbo. Fantastic. I don't care. What's in it for me, right? There's a thing in marketing, WIIFM. You're listening to WIIFM. What's in it for me? So I want you to always think about what's in it for them, right? What are they getting out of it, right? Is that making sense? A little bit of thumbs up. Does that kind of help? Quick rundown. We're going to be revisiting those types of videos a little bit more, specifically the sales and the opt-in, and I'm going to show you an outstanding example of what to look for in a video. All right, so here's going to be your assignment. You're going to start with a tip video, okay? You're going to open up Claude and you're going to put the following prompt in there. Don't try to be fancy. For all my leapers in the room, you can go into OB and do this so you can keep your work all in there. Now, you may have already done this stuff, but I want you to make sure I'm talking to my coaches and my teachers out there that you use 100 words, okay? Not 500 words, 100 words, okay? And the reason why I want you to start here is because it's going to keep out, it's Claude. I'm not sure what your question is there, Xtina. Leapers. Oh yeah, Libras. Leapers. Sorry, it's a coaching program. Nope, don't worry about it. Yes, everybody needs a coach, so I have that. I'm trying to give you a container where we can get some success, small success. Right? Because it doesn't have to be big success right now. We want to start small and grow. Talking to you, Dr. Jill. Talking to you, Dr. Karen. Right? Because I know you guys have done this plenty of times, Donna Kennedy, as you're grinning from a little bit ear to ear. Right? Same with you, Patty. And Dr. Patrice has done this. Who else? Gretchen's been through this with me. Yeah, Gretchen and I have done this. Isla's done this with me. Yeah, Barbara, a couple of you have done this with me. Melanie's definitely done this with me. We want to start small. So go to Claude, go to ChatGPT. I want to give you 10 minutes. I think that's plenty of time. Get the prompt down. You can literally just copy, although you can't go to Claude or ChatGPT and say blank. You need to fill in what your ideal client is struggling with. Is that cool? Right? So my little oddball in the room, and I love you to death, Julie, your prompt might be, write a short video script for people who are looking for a new hip place that serves bourbon and cigars, right? Something like that, right? Okay, is this making sense, everybody? A little bit of a thumbs up? Yeah, beginner cigars. Great, that's great. Like they don't know how to pick them. They don't know what they're doing. That's actually, go you. Yeah, you go to Courtney and say, Courtney, Jimbo said, I need a raise today. This is great. Unless you co-own it with him. I'm not sure of the situation. All right, so this makes sense for everybody. We're gonna put on some working music. I'm gonna give you 10 minutes. All right, Roseanne, thank you. Rosanna, yeah, you have a question. All right, Roseanne, raise your hand, your digital hand, so she can see you easier. Your digital hand, sorry, on the Zoom, so that way.
Oh, got it.
There we go.
I don't know how to do that.
No, you're okay. We got you.
Quick question
Yeah.
for me with my art. All of the ChatGPT and Claude responses all start with questions. So you're telling me no questions.
So turn it into a statement.
And so
turn it into a statement.
Okay.
Yeah, listen.
So when I ask them for something, it always comes back with a question.
Yep.
So do I say that in the prompt?
You don't
Make
have
a statement?
to. This is a fantastic question. So yes, a lot of times hi Anne-Marie, good to see you today. I like your background, pretty sweet. Is that different than yesterday? Okay, so, squirrel, let me stay focused. A lot of times with the chats, it will bring back question type stuff. And the general rule for everybody is we're using Claude or ChatGPT as the starting point, and we massage the language from there. So it's totally okay to get that first script and then tweak it a little bit. Tweak it like, how would I say this? This is not exactly perfect. So I wasn't super clear with that, so thank you for that question. This is an exercise. Here's where this exercise is going, okay? When we come back, I'm gonna put you into breakouts and you're going to read your 100-word script. Your 100-word script to your group using acting techniques. Now, tomorrow I'm going to tell you we're not going to read from the words, but today I want you focused on the acting techniques, so it's okay to look at the words and just act it out. Is that making sense? where we're headed for this exercise, right? So that'll give us the word. So if the words come back, Roseanne, and it's a question, or it says something and you're like, oh, that's not quite right, either chat back to the chat bot, say, hey, tweak this, do this, or just take it, copy and paste it somewhere, and then write in the things you want. Is there any other questions that might help clarify, or does that do it? That was a great question, right? We're always using the ChatGPT, the Claude, as a starting off point, as a head start, and then we bring ourselves into it where it's missing. All right? All right, 10 minutes, we're gonna have some working music, and I'll see you back here shortly. Thank you, Carson. My mic is off again. Yeah, that was Danny, California. I think we had, she grew up in Indiana town, had a good looking mama, Tom Petty. Yeah, so good. So good. Yeah, Green Day, Time of Your Life, that's right. Yeah, so Justin says, I had to laugh at ChatGPT is getting more personality in its response to me. Yeah, it will. It really will. Really, really will. So there's two different playlists because I know that's why we all are here. What music is Jimbo going to play for us today? So there's two different playlists. I'll get the other playlist on there. One's just that guitar instrumental music, which I love. I will often use that when I'm just hanging out. So thumbs up. Did that work for everybody? Anybody struggle with that? Anybody struggle with that? Okay, it looks good. Okay, so Barbara, here's a really good, this is a really good thing. 130 words, which is, if I'm doing the math right, it's like 35 more words than 100. What you need to do, Barbara, is you literally go, your next response, because I do this all the time, this is great, but you're 34 words too many. Write it again. And it'll do it. And it'll cut some words out. This is what I was trying to like emphasize yesterday when I was showing you guys my kind of behind the scenes of my AI stuff, which I really want to do more. I just think I'm trying to prioritize now between what the time I have left, right? We're basically halfway through. So don't be afraid to go back and forth with this thing and just say, hey, that's too many words, or rewrite and do this a little bit, right? It will do that. And my prompts, and I'm sure Dr. Jill's are because I know she's an avid user as well, my prompts are like so long, right? I shared a little bit of that with you yesterday when I walked through the Raising Arizona. I don't know if, is Kat on here right now? I know she was, Catherine, we have two cats, but the other cat, I guess she's not. She sent me an email last night. She went into Claude and basically was like, through the lens of Raising Arizona. And it was really great, like this crazy good email referencing Raising Arizona. All right, so here's what's gonna happen next. We're gonna put you into breakout rooms, and everybody's sharing your chats, that's great. One of the other things I will tell you, a lot of times when it's spitting out a script to you, it's gonna give you what I call camera direction. And that camera direction or talent direction or presenter direction might be say something like, in a nice soft tone. Okay, Shirley, I'm not sure that was necessary. Hobo. You wanna be able to retell it. This is what I'll do. I'll say things like, yeah, it says grounded, all that kind of stuff, compassionate tone. I'll generally say things like, don't include any camera direction, if that's kind of getting in your way, and it'll rewrite it without it, right? Yeah. Yeah, there's advanced techniques for AI. I was just trying to keep it simple. You can upload transcripts from your webinars, for example, and say, learn my tone. That's what I do with a lot of my stuff, so that I do that with all of my stuff. And there's Marla Dakin. Marla, we've already watched one of your videos today. Everybody was really impressed. We used you as an example that you didn't really know about. Thank you, and sorry, whatever. But I used you as an example of some acting techniques that I've been going over with psychological tone. And what you do so masterfully is switch from a tone of empathy to one of inspiration, right? Where I understand what you're going through and I know I can help you, kind of a thing, right? So really good. And we're gonna watch another video from you in the next session, because as I was looking through some videos, you do how to hire a blank as good as it comes, right? So well done on that. All right, so you're gonna be put into breakouts. You're each going to have, this script, by the way, should be 1 minute to 1.5 minutes. Like it shouldn't, if it's 100 words, teachers, coaches, if it's 100 words, it should be about a minute, and your job is to read the script this time. So you're not worried about eye contact with the lens. Let me repeat, you are not concerned with eye contact for the lens. You're looking at your screen and you're reading it with the expression. You're reading it like you are looking at the lens, right? So it might be, hey there, I'm Jimbo Marshall, and I know video can help you. You know, I also understand that video is confusing, right? Try to like take the range of emotional and psychological tones in this exercise, okay? So I'm gonna give you 10 minutes for that activity. And here you go, being sucked off into the vortex one more time. How about one of these? How'd we do? A little goodness? All right, Roseanne, I wanna unmic you. I wanna hear from you. What'd you think? Yeah, Roseanne. She just raises her hand. There we go.
Oh, so I loved my group, but you know, it was a little tricky just reading the script. Like they're like, "Oh, you're not inflecting," and I said, "Well, he said just read the scripts." I'm doing. So that was a part of learning about how to practice.
Yeah.
And determine what I'm going to say, how I'm going to say it, where I'm going to say it.
Yeah.
And you know, transforming the lead from a question into a statement, because a lot of art class statements are openings with a question, right? Like, you know, so I guess, and my question to you would be, you know, at what point do I never use a question?
No, good question.
Okay.
So I've said this a few times. When we know the rules, we break the rules, right? So in general, the way I want you to think about it, and there's always going to be the outlying exceptions, right? So for you, and in particular, you're working with art students, correct? Remind me? Okay, great.
Yes.
Is Juliana on here today? She was on here earlier. There she is.
I remember for yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah, she's got the art
because
behind her.
I'd like to say, like, ever look at a pile of scraps and think it could be art?
Yeah.
Well, you're absolutely right. And those are the kinds of things that.
Yes, that is a perfect example of how you could use a question with a positive statement. Do you ever look at this pile of garbage, but you see art? Of course you do, because you're an artist. Like even little psychological things like that to confirm who they are, to give them some validation, if you will, can go a long way, right? So what I was trying to convey, and I apologize if I wasn't clear enough, was you get into these groups and you're trying to implement some of those acting techniques in your read. So you're reading with the expression, right? And I'm sure your group was quick to say, no, you're supposed to be doing this.
Yeah, you're just reading, you're not doing it. I'm like, I get it.
No.
But then again, I didn't have time to even read it out loud once. So I think that's the thing.
Fair.
And that's where I see the value of you reiterating the practice.
The rehearsing. I mean, just like with art, right? Are you a better artist today than you were when you first picked up a brush or a pile of trash? Right?
Absolutely.
Like, you grow into things, right? And
thank you.
Yeah, my whole goal, thank you. My whole goal is, you know, if you left here tomorrow, all of you, with nothing but, I need to understand that I am the talent. I am what they are buying. What I do is not necessarily unique. How I do it is unique. And the only way my client, my future client, is going to know that and realize that is by me making myself likable, approachable, authentic, funny, serious, charming, a combination of all of it, right? So it's really this whole idea is to understand better and really lean and breathe into the fact of they are buying you. Do not be confused. You've got to become the focal point of all of your marketing things, right? And when you understand that, and then when you start to rehearse and you start to practice, all of this is possible. It's just like anything else, it takes intention. It takes having a director. It takes having somebody to push you into it, right? And that's why I love this stuff so much, right? So I hope that helps you. Anybody else have a comment before? Yeah, thank you. Before we go to a little bit of a lunch break that they would like to share with the group? Monica. Yes, good to hear from you. 1 second.
I don't know where you went.
Yeah.
There I am. Okay. I went into OB, which is what the Leapers use, and I asked for it to create a script, and then it gave me exactly what everybody else does, which tells me exactly the opposite of what I do, because I'm mostly a contrarian. I mostly work with people who are phobic on camera or who panic. And so the average thing of exposure therapy with building confidence on a daily basis, it gave me all the script of what other people do, so I could say, and that's not what I do.
Great.
And it was awesome to just get such great words to say, if you had this here, I offer you this here. So it's just really cool to be able to use that.
I love that. Yeah. I mean, if we didn't have these tools, we would still be surviving. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But I truly believe this is the advantage that we all have now, where there's no excuses. Yes, there's going to be some, a little bit of technical things that we have to get over in order to make our videos and all those kinds of things. But we've got such a great starting point now with this tool. It's just wonderful. Kelly Phillips.
Oh, there we go.
There you go.
I was surprised that Claude gave me feedback. Like, the fact that you changed those words means that you really delivered that point.
Yeah.
And so I was surprised about, as I massaged it to use my language and reworded it, it was giving me feedback in terms of, yeah, that is such a fine point there, and you delivered that. So I didn't expect that. It was my first.
So you're kind of new into the AI writing. Yeah. So your mind is a little bit like, whoa, right? Like,
yeah, I didn't know that it would critique my writing.
Yes, it will.
I just went for it. But.
Yeah, I love that. Let's all show some love to Kelly, because oh my gosh, when I first started getting into this, I was like, holy moly, I cannot get enough. I've been using Claude for about, I don't know if it came out 2 years ago, so it might be 2.5 years ago, but I really started using it on a full-time basis around October of 2023. And I think I have over close to 400 chats, meaning individual queries, and I've deleted a bunch because the one thing I'm not great at, and I haven't been great at, is organizing my chats. I did want to share something with you guys, so somebody has to remind me. Who's going to do this? Dr. Jill is going to be great for this. Dr. Jill, you in the room? Where are you at? Okay, Dr. Jill, at some point tomorrow, remind me, I've got to share a tool, an extension that I added to Chrome for Claude specifically. So for my Claude users, and you know who you are, or if you're using both, you've got your foot on both sides of the fence, which is great. I do too. I got frustrated because I have over 300 chats and I was looking for something specific. And as great as Claude is, man, you can't search for shit in Claude and expect to find it. It's like, oh my gosh. Like, I know this was a specific word in this chat and you can't find it. Super frustrating. So I literally put into Google, why does Claude's search function suck so bad? And I ended up down a rabbit hole in Reddit, and I found an extension to go into Chrome. And if I'm speaking tech and not English, I apologize, just hang with me. But literally with one click, now all of a sudden, every time I search Claude, it's like, boom, finds it. It's a miracle. So I want to share that with my Claude users for sure. All right, Deborah, what do you have for me? What was it like for you?
Well, what I'm going to tell you is the best thing about this morning was let's scrap all the marketing is hard. It has to be like this. Like, let's it be simple.
Right.
And I have felt very robotic trying to squeeze like a tube sock, squeezing into ask a question. And then you do this. And it's like, I'm not a flipping robot. So to be able to actually have a conversation with the person that is, you know, theoretically behind that little green dot, it's like, oh my, just freedom. So thank you, thank you,
I love that. Yeah, you're more than welcome. Permission granted. And yes, I'm definitely going to get that Chrome extension for you guys. Just give me a second because I don't have that right at my fingertips. Okay, here's what I want to make sure that you're doing. We are having the laser directing session tonight. So not everybody will be picked, so don't stress about it if you're not, right? Just go with it, show up, you know, learn from what you're seeing in others. You probably might even get more out of watching me direct somebody else, right? Because if you get in that hot seat, people do have the tendency to freeze. No, Mary Wallace, good question. So here's how the schedule is going to go for today. So thank you for saying that. So we are going to take our lunch meal break here in just a few minutes. That's going to be a 30-minute break. So you can get some nutrition, maybe walk outside for a bit, stretch. Maybe Kelly, you're going to go straight back to Claude and have some conversations, which would be awesome. And then we're going to come back. We're going to have 2 more sessions before we have a dinner break, right? A dinner break. And then basically at 7 p.m. tonight is going to be the laser directing session. That's going to go for about an hour till about 8 o'clock. And then the VIPs will have an additional session starting at around 8 o'clock. And that session will go until I fall out of this desk, I suppose. And Isla, there's nothing to prepare for. You can just show up, right? You can just show up, right? And really what I'm trying to do even more, guys, if I can, I'll because I'm a teacher, I'm trying to mix in some more quick spot directing tomorrow because I know that's what people need. So tonight, Erica, the VIP session is going to be more directing, more spot directing, laser directing, all right? All right, so with that, oh, here's what I wanted to say. Make sure, and Priscilla, all things are, you know, ish, but theoretically 8 o'clock. Make sure that script that you have, that you've just gotten from Claude or ChatGPT, keep it. That's the one that we're going to be working on tonight in the laser directing session and or tomorrow as we go through the process of shooting for the edit, all right? So we're halfway there. Stay with me, all right? Know that I got you, and just come back in 30 minutes, all right? Have a good meal break, and I'll see you guys soon. Thanks again.